So you find a job posting that you really, really love. You love the company, you love the pay, you love the idea of working there. It asks for your CV, it asks for an application, and then it asks for a cover letter. And this is where you just say, forget it. But not to worry, cover letters don't have to be hard, they don't have to take too long, and in fact you could write one cover letter and slightly tweak it to kind of make it a bit more specific to each job posting. But once you have that main cover letter there, which I'm going to go through with you today with examples of each paragraph and show you excellent cover letter examples presented by Harvard University, and this is a Harvard University insider tip. These are documents that they give to their students, so you probably won't have seen it otherwise, and these are excellent cover letters that give you all the detail that you need within just one page. So keep on watching if you want to see. So a cover letter is part of the screening process for a job. It's also used for like graduate schemes, for university, for PhD applications, and essentially it's the same idea for all of them. The key thing to remember is that within your cover letter you want to highlight your skills and experience that are most relevant for that particular thing that you are applying for. So I'm going to give you a few general tips before going into the examples, and I'll leave the timestamps down below so you can go and click into any section that you want to if you want to move forward with this video. So first, make sure that your letter is addressed to a specific person, and make sure that the whole letter is tailored to a specific organization. So it should definitely not be general, it should be very specific, and it should look like you've written it for that specific job posting. It shouldn't be more than a page long. A cover letter that I see that's more than a page long, I completely cut. You need to stick to one page. Put yourself in the reader's shoes when writing and drafting your cover letter. Does this letter tell or give insight to the reader, the potential employer, that you are the right person for this job or for this position? And try to avoid overusing the word I. So I did this, I did that, I did this. And we'll look at some examples in a second. Remember that a cover letter is a marketing tool. So this is a tool that you are using to sell, that's right, yourself. This is a tool that you are using to show that you are the one to be selected for this position. So in order to do that, you need to use lots of action words, so words that show that you did this, and this is how you did it in the past, and this is what you are doing, and this is why it was successful. These are action words, and again, I'll give you guys loads of examples in this video. And the final tip is look at the job description and look at the skills and the experience that they're looking for. Pull those out and include them within your cover letter by referencing what you have done and what your experiences are. Okay, so let's get into the bit that you are probably waiting for. So here is an example of a cover letter, the general view of the cover letter. So as you can see, you have, and I'll look at it on my screen here, you have the date of the letter, the contact name, the title, the company name. So that should be a complete title and address at the top. And then you've got dear, and you should have a name. And then you've got the opening paragraph, the middle paragraph, could be 1 or 2 paragraphs here in the middle. And then you've got the closing paragraph, and then you've got sincerely and your name. So let's break down each of these paragraphs and let's look at examples of each of these paragraphs. As I mentioned, we are going to be looking at a cover letter that is presented by Harvard University as an excellent example of what a cover letter should look like. And I'm going to leave it over here, but we're going to break it down into specific paragraphs, look at what each paragraph includes, how they've written that, and how they've made it really sound excellent, if I must say, to sell themselves and present themselves in the best way possible for that particular position. So the opening paragraph, you are going to be stating very clearly why you're writing, who you are, name the position of the work that you want to apply for, what kind of work you're exploring, where you heard about the person or the organization, and then you want to kind of mention a few key skills or expertise that qualify you for this role. So let's look at the example, which I think is done really well. So let's take a look really quickly. It says that I'm writing to express my interest in securing an associate position at a consulting firm. So that's really clear. I'm a Master of Liberal Arts degree candidate at Harvard Extension School, specializing in information technology. So again, really clear who they are, where they've come from. I come from a solid technical background with a strong interest in business and a passion towards strategy. My area of focus is this, and then they've talked about their academics, their GPA, and where their background. Their background is not just analytical, but it's also technical, and they've got leadership skills, they've got team building qualities, and they said that This is a nice thing to do. They mentioned that they've said, I'm really impressed with Great Strategy's approach to strategy consulting. So they're now like, I guess they're complimenting the consulting firm they want to join, especially within the business development and innovation practice areas. I believe my academic background, business knowledge, and industry experiences have provided me with the credentials needed to thrive as an associate. So they've mentioned who they are, what they're currently doing, what their academic background is in the past, what skills they have, and then they've kind of, in a very nice way, complimented the consulting firm and then mentioned why, like how they can build on those compliments. So they've said that, the consulting firm has a really nice way of dealing with this, and this is what they do, and this is how they can add and build on that positive. That's really nice, because you're complimenting, but you're not being too kind of complimentary, and you're not being too like cringy, but actually you're adding in, you're kind of self-boosting, you're adding in like information about yourself to say, actually, I align with what you're doing really well. And then moving on, the middle paragraph needs to provide supporting evidence to demonstrate that you have the key skills and expertise needed in the role that you've mentioned. But don't reiterate your CV. Now, don't forget, like this is something that people do really wrong when I read CVs and cover letters. The CV has most of the information there. It's got everything. It's got your academic history, it's got your work experience, it's got everything. The role of the cover letter is not to rehash your CV. It's not to represent the CV. It's in fact to pull out the only bits of information that are especially specific and important for this particular role. So explain why you are interested in this employer and your reasons for desiring this kind of work, but do so in a confident manner, and remember that the reader will view your letter as an example of your writing skills. So your cover letter is also actually a test. It's a test to show that you can communicate in a way that is desirable to them. So, spelling, grammar, clarity, flow, detail, like relevance, all of these things are really important skills that most employers are looking for, and your cover letter will be an example, the first example possibly that they will see of you doing that. So let's take a look at the example. Prior to Harvard, I worked as a technology professional, primarily resolving strategic issues related to technology process improvement. So that's what they did in the past. And then I gained solid skills in research, analysis, problem solving, and they worked in these companies. And then more about the background, and actually saying that moreover, because of this work experience, I fully understand how important it is to have a great team dynamic, and this is something that they've added. So really this paragraph here is boosting your skill set and mentioning what you've done in the past and putting out the skills that you think are important for this particular role. So again, really nicely done. Then the closing paragraph is just, I guess, reiterating. So you need to reiterate your interest in the position and your enthusiasm by showing how your skills are going to contribute. You want to thank the reader for the consideration, and then provide your details in case they want to contact you for an interview. So let's look at the example. So here it says, to date, my experience as an IT professional has been really rewarding. So this is quite personal, saying that you find it rewarding and interesting. However, it is through consulting that I want to use my analytical aptitude and creative problem solving skills to the fullest. So although you're not downplaying, that's something that you never want to do. You never want to say I hated medicine and that's why I want to go into consulting. That's not professional and it doesn't look very good. So you want to be able to say, right, I think I loved being on the front line, I loved helping people, but at this moment in time I really want to slow down my pace. I feel like I learned so much about time management and productivity, and I want to bring that into the workplace to help big companies, XYZ. So you're just pivoting, you're not downplaying or being negative upon anything else. I strongly believe that consulting is a discipline that will force me to view problems not only from the client's standpoint, but also from a marketplace, and think outside of the box. So that's quite nice. It's kind of like summarizing why they want to go from being in IT to consulting, and how they are going to take the skills that they have, pivot them, and how they're going to be original in their space. And then it says, I would appreciate the opportunity to interview for this position, just reiterating what you're applying for. Please find the CV enclosed. Here's the email, here's my phone number. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you for your time, and then your name. So that is so clean. That is one of the cleanest cover letters that I've seen. Just to the point. There's not a single word in that cover letter that is redundant. Not one. There's not a single redundant word in the whole cover letter. Every single sentence they've written, every single word that has been put into this cover letter has, makes an impact. It has relevance. It is so important for what they're saying. Every single word there. And I think that's really important. Like when writing a cover letter, it is the CV, you know, people skim through, they'll take 30 seconds to skim through a CV, but the cover letter, they are going to read it, they're interested in you. So you do want to make sure that your cover letter is putting yourself forward in the best light possible, and making sure that you are not just repeating what's in your CV or just repeating what's in any other application. Rather, it's highlighting and, you know, showing your best key skills related to that job. So when I was saying earlier that you could actually just take one cover letter and use it for multiple roles, is because what you can see here is a structure. Ultimately, you're going to be applying for similar roles. I'm assuming you're not going to be like applying for very different jobs. So you could just change the name, change maybe what the specific skill sets are based on what the job's looking for. But ultimately, you know, you went to Harvard, you did this, that was your skill. That's not really going to change. So you can very easily spend a little time making a really good cover letter, and then just slightly manipulating it and tailoring it for the specific jobs that you want to apply for in the future. So hopefully that will help you not get too intimidated when you see a cover letter required for a job. I also have a second example that I will also leave over here, and I'll leave links for them down below as well, so you can go and click and see them in a bit more detail. But I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that kind of like took away a bit of friction from applying for jobs and, you know, getting yourself out there. And I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.